What up, what up? Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast. My name's Nick Ingval. Got the whole crew with me, Rohit, Robbie, Mike. Gonna do a little mid-year recap. What's good, fellas? How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's like zero sneaker related. Just taught my 7-year-old how to swim, so I'm on cloud 9 right now. So it's awesome.
Nice.
What happened, Mike? You broke up a little.
Oh, no. So I taught my 7-year-old how to swim today. So that was awesome. I was like, don't need any shoes for that. That was perfect.
As a 33-year-old that can't swim, I'm already jealous. So good job.
I'm taking a class list right now. So you want to jump on in and we'll get you a Zoom class?
No, I'm good. I may get in there when baby girl makes an appearance, but other than that, I'm like, that's the one thing I have in common with Michael Jordan. We have hydrophobia in a sense.
Well, if you let me do anything in life, I am a former water safety instructor and lifelong swimmer. I have taught many baby and me classes. I've even taught a couple of those baby and me classes where the parent also needs help. So I am here to reassure you and to help you get those skills. Because last thing you want is what if baby girl runs into a lake when she's 2 and like you can't go chase after her. So I will help you get there. It'll be my life pleasure to slowly
Can I endorse you on LinkedIn?
Endorse.
With TLC, because it's a very delicate. Some people think, oh, you can just throw your kid in the pool. It's like, no,
Very
you don't really
process.
do that.
Now, I will say this. One of the hidden joys of being on this podcast is peeling back the onions of all my co-hosts. And this is probably, for me, one of the highlights of the half year is peeling back this particular Shrek-like onion and discovering that Robbie is the spiritual successor and the heir to Arthur Curry's Aquaman. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll go into that whole another time. I'm good. I'm hotter than a witch's tit. Like, I almost did this episode straight up,
How hot
shirtless.
is that?
it's pretty
A
hot.
witch's tit is somewhere between 42 degrees Celsius and whatever the Fahrenheit equivalent is.
It's also a close cousin to being hotter than a whore in a church, right? Because she's sweating so much. So there you
That
go.
was a good
Drinking
one.
a
But not
whore's
all witches are whores, and not all whores are witches. So.
I almost did
Not
it
one and the
like
same.
naked. I almost did it half naked, but full disclosure, my rockin' has been this black and blue foot. So,
Oh, God.
Your boy's not looking his tightest, so I was like, oh, I don't want to be on camera shirtless. I haven't done more than like a slow walk in 7 days now, going on 7 days. So I've been rocking the black foot, and I'm feeling flabby, and I'm hot. So not feeling great, but we're here. We're living.
How you doing, Nick?
Hey, man, I'm good. I was saying before we started recording, like I got to be thankful for 108 degrees down here in Sacramento now that these guys are dealing with like 116 up north.
I don't know how y'all get that hot. I didn't think it got that hot out there. I mean, I live in 100-degree weather.
Imagine wearing a boot up to your knee in that heat. It's not fun.
I think Robbie was tempting fate with his Robbie Closet weekly series because there's so much heat that's percolating from that one particular house on this side of Portland. But yeah, this is India hot is what I told Nick right before. And this is why my folks immigrated to this country. So the American dream that we were promised is now dead because goddamn global warming. But that's another story for another story.
They're real mad right now.
Yeah. All right. So what are you guys rocking? What are you guys copping lately?
So my rockin' and coppin here. So I guess rockin', I just have to say, I got to bring these two bad boys out because, I mean, just got sent over not too long ago. So I got the Nerf Omnis, and then you got the Power Ranger, the Megazord question. So these, I've worn these once so far, and it's only been like a day. But those are my rockins. Shout out to Reebok for sending those over. And coppin', honestly, guys, I have no clue what there's nothing out there that's been really like piquing my interest lately. I think I saw a picture of Rohit's his KD. Yeah, it was that KD that Dream colorway. And once I saw KD playing, I'm like, man, these are actually pretty slick. So those are, if I had to say something I'm interested in, it'd be those. But other than that, nothing really out there right now.
All right.
I'll go next.
I already shared what I'm rocking, so Rohit, you go for it, baby.
Now, I want to be a spiritual brethren to my man over there rocking the Mamba Mentality black and blue colorway, Robbie. So I also did not wear any shoes today, but I'm not brave enough to put my feet on camera because I don't know what our viewers are into. And in the interest of retaining as many of these viewers as we can, let your imagination do the thinking there. But what I'm topping was I shamed myself into putting in a bid on a website that shall not be named that rhymes with BlockX. And the Nike Dunk Golfs, there was a bid that was made and there was a bid that was accepted. So we're hoping to see if we can follow through with that. If not, the aforementioned Kobe 5 for PJ Tucker, like there was a new Kobe 5 colorway that was kind of light green and purple. That is fantastic. Like whoever's doing the PJ Tucker player editions, kudos to you, sir or madam. You are taking the ball and you're running with it in a way that I don't think we've ever seen a role player get. So good for you.
Before we throw it to Nick, let me just say on the Coppin on the Coppin front, since Rohit brought up StockX, I sold my clay green Jordan 1. So I was like, I'm never going to wear these. They're gorgeous, but I'm never going to wear them. I sold them for $700, got to StockX for verification. I accidentally didn't put in the clay green laces the white laces, and they sent it back. And I was like, you son of a... And I mean, of you threes, quick question. If those shoes only came with black laces, are you sending it back? Or are you like, fuck it, I want these shoes?
I'm not changing the laces. Black laces, like stock laces on Jordan 1s would I leave on them. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think most people have that. And even if that's the case, they're going to buy laces. Like, who's checking for authentic laces in a sense?
That's the last thing I care about.
Yep. And so, because I was going to use that money, I was going to buy the 15 pounds of short rib I'm using for the 4th of July. And I was going to use the other half. I want the G-Dragon Air Force Ones in white so bad.
I love that shoe.
I have a trip to Hawaii coming up. Your boy won't be here for a whole week in September.
Hey.
Nice.
And I want to wear those shoes. I want to like beat the hell out of them. I want to go like hiking in them. I want to watch them peel. I want to have a really good time in those G-Dragons. So I would love to not buy them off of StockX. Nobody in the Discord had them. So if you have a size 12 G-Dragons in either black or white, I prefer the white. Get at me. I want them. I will have them in the next month probably. But that's definitely going to be on my radar for the next hot minute. I also want those or the Eric Emanuel questions. I think those would be really fun to just beat the hell out of on a hike and stuff. But they're a little bit higher. I like the white and pink look in Hawaii. I think it'd be cool.
Yep.
But G-Dragons for sure. Eventually.
Well, speaking of lace swaps and laces and my latest pickup.
Hey.
Magnus
Herbie
Walker.
Fully Loaded? Is that the Herbie Fully Loaded shoe?
Yeah, that's that Lindsay Lohan, right? Or is that like the Icy Bear dunk?
Well, it's funny. So here. So I think I showed this before on the episode, but there's a little that's Magnus's car. So if you want to know where the idea for this whole thing came from.
That's so great.
I've actually got like pictures of my nephew with him at the racetrack from a few years back too. So I'm super stoked because like honestly, like I haven't hit on so long on anything that, I mean, I think the last thing I hit on was the mochas for Robbie, but like other than that, I can't remember the last shoe that I bought from Nike, like as far as sneakers go, is probably like a Fear of God Skylon 2 or something. It's been like maybe like the black and red playoff 4s or whatever, black and red 4s. But
so, 2 years.
Anyway, yeah, like it's been a long time. So that's my pickup. I'm pretty stoked. I was actually kind of curious, like what you guys think, because so it comes with blue laces and red laces, right? Kind of like this, the red is good because it matches the shoes pretty perfectly, but it also comes with like white SB laces.
No.
And I actually like the way the SB laces look, I think, but I just can't decide.
Do that.
So it's like red, white,
mismatch.
or blue. The
Mismatch it. It looks so good having both.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
I'd
that's
say
so
both.
good.
And you can already see I already wore them to the sneaker, the Bay Area meetup for the community.
Glad
So
you did.
put them on first thing.
I was going to say, Nate, could we get a quick recap? Because apparently Love was in the air and said meetup.
Oh yeah, it was
I heard about
great.
that.
So we had let's see, four 5 people at the meetup from the Discord community. It's still new. Like getting out and being social is a new thing considering the pandemic and all that stuff. But the kids were along for the ride this time. So we had I don't want to drop any names because I don't want anybody like publicly, out there to our audience that wouldn't want this out there. But I will say that if you have a kid and bring them to a sneaker history meetup, they might find their lost soulmate.
Who?
Listen.
You?
No.
So Todd and Keith from the Discord both brought their kids, and by the end of 5 minutes,
I get what you're saying now. I
basically madly in love.
Okay, I get it.
Dude, they both were rocking heat, by the way. I saw the shoes that those two kids had on. It was like fantastic.
Yeah. It was really cute though. It was a good time. I mean, it was cool to kind of get to finally meet some people in person, and looking forward to doing more of that. I mean, we were already talking about trying to do something out in Denver later this year with some of the guys, because we've got a handful of people out there that would be down to do a meetup. And I think too, like by the time we all get more comfortable being out and about, and everybody's more and more people are vaccinated, like we'll get to a point where we'll be able to get a decent amount of people. Like we've already been talking about what the next Bay Area one would be. And obviously there's a couple people trying to organize a Los Angeles one, which I'll definitely drive down for. So if you don't already know, or if you haven't caught on, you should definitely check out our Discord. It's patreon.com/sneaker history. It'll get you into that. But yeah.
So when y'all coming to Texas,
no, that's
awesome.
awesome.
What I'm hearing. I need somebody when y'all coming down to Houston. Or I'll meet you.
Hey, well,
Austin.
you got you. So interestingly enough, you got Travis down there. I know we've got so one of the guys here, Rodney, is actually going to be moving down to Austin. So I'm going to be down there in Austin later this year for the races too. So maybe we could do something around that.
Was it October?
Formula One race? Yeah.
Yep. October 22nd and the 23rd, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. It's actually my nephew's first birthday. So
that's awesome.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, let's put that
my
on the calendar.
34th. But
nice. Yeah. But yeah, as far as Coppin, the only thing that actually caught my eye the last few days was the New Balance 1500s. Like the new made in the UK ones are like black with a little bit of mint and a little bit of like kind of aqua green on them. I love that shoe. It's kind of weird because Stephen Smith, who we should definitely have on the podcast at some point, he's designed so many of the shoes that I like. It's almost like weird, like how my favorite silhouettes from the brands are always, like shoes that he has designed. So, we'll see. I mean, that's actually kind of an interesting one. I don't want to go too deep into it, but like the shape of the shoes we should talk about down the road, because the shape of that particular 1500 won't be popular with like the OG New Balance people, because they like a more pointed toe, and I actually like it a little bit more flat. So, I could see these sitting in. It'll probably be a couple months before I try to get them, but I'm sure they'll be on sale too.
Yeah, the prices go perfect.
Yep. But all right, so I'm gonna just sit back and toss it to Rohit because this episode is kind of his brainchild in a sense. We did it before; it seemed to go over pretty well with just a quarterly update. But yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Nick. We are going to do the second quarterly sneaker history retrospective for those of us in the IT fields that follow the Agile methodology. This is something we do after every sprint. For us, our sprints are roughly 3 months, and it's a simple format. I give these guys 3 questions, let them speak as long as they want on each thing. Nobody is going to hopefully cut anybody off, and we just kind of pour our hearts out in the last quarter. And those 3 questions specifically are: what did we enjoy in the last quarter, or in this case, the last half of the year? What is something we didn't like? And then lastly, what is something we hope for in the final half or the next quarter of the year? So that being said, who wants to go first?
I'll go. What the heck? Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead, Robbie.
You know what? I will go to Robbie, because he's promised me swim lessons, and there's no greater gift.
First, though.
The first one will be, what is something you loved in the first half of this year, or even just something in this second quarter, whatever you want to talk about that made you have a brighter day when it comes to the world of sneakers?
Man, so this might be a hot take, especially from my fellow jaded sneakerheads, but I've been happy with all the Dunk releases. Looks around awkwardly. I mean, so it's also going to be part of my thing I didn't like about the year, because Nick, I'm so happy you have those shoes. I think they're ugly as fuck, and they're not for me. There's been so many SB releases that are just not for me, and that's totally cool because not every shoe is for every person. I'm stoked you got them. People need to care less about shoes. I think, like, not everybody needs to love every shoe. Not everybody needs to cop everything. It's okay to be like, that's not for me. I'm going to wait out and I'm going to get the 1-2 releases down the road. But I'm just really happy to see like the Hyper Cobalts and like the Seric, all these different really simple dunks, because more and more my style is geared towards that type of shoe in my everyday wear. I like to go ride my bikes with like my Dunks or my Jordan 1s. It's like a very clean aesthetic looking down. I'm happy watching the shoes go round and round. I'm enjoying them. It makes me happy. It kind of sucks how a lot of the time people can't get them, but if you put in a little bit of effort, Nike's been doing a lot better with like the geo releases, like for your regional city area. They release on Saturday on sneakers. On like Wednesday or Thursday, you get a sneakers notification saying, hey, your local area might have these. A lot of shops are stocking them. So it is difficult because a lot of people want them. But if you have friends or you just put a little bit of effort in, you can get some really great shoes. And I think it's what made the Dunk ultimately so transcendent, because it can be something so specialized like the Dunks Nick has. It could be something so big and hyped like a Jeff Staple pigeon, yet it could be something ceremonial like a Be True to Your School pack that's re-releasing for like the 5th or 6th time. And somebody like myself who's always just liked the look of those shoes and has never had the chance to buy them. I think I did the head count. I have 4 of the Be True to Your School Dunks just in the past year. And it's like, damn, I always wanted all those. And I have a great time wearing them. Like, I've worn all of them except for one. So I don't think it's high top white and green season right now in summer. So I'm just holding off. But for the most part, I'm just loving the wears. They're really fun. So that's been a really good thing. People have been saying the Dunk's going to die. They're over it. I totally get it. But I think those are people that aren't getting the product, or people that only get the product to flip it because they're seeing their profits go down, or they're seeing, sneaker blogs talking about them less. But if you go and lace them up and go do some shit in your shoes, they're a lot of fun. So Go wear them. Yeah.
Mike, you want to go next? That's right? A pretty tough act to follow.
I don't know if I can follow that.
Yes, you can.
I guess the good thing I've seen this year is going to be almost more self-contained to us as in sneaker history, and that's going to be really the Discord. I feel like it's being able to have the conversation about going to you guys, going to the guys in the groups, like, hey, I'm thinking about buying these. Let's have an honest conversation. No one just gassing you up to go buy this. I was looking at the Fragment Dunks. Robbie literally said those are actual trash. So, but I get both sides of the argument. It's one of those things. It's like I'm not just getting people saying, oh yeah, I should buy for the hype in this. So I think, and it sounds silly because it's just buying shoes, but it's like nice to have that kind of sounding board of someone who has it, someone can talk to it, but it's not going through like, oh look, this Instagram is like this person got a gazillion likes and it's just because of the type of shoe. No one's talking about it. So be able to have a conversation before actually, because we can't, again, we're not going to find these things in stores unless you're Nick who wins those nice SB raffles. But a lot of stuff's not in stores, so being able to talk to our group of people, our community, is really nice to, like I said, just make an informed decision about buying, and then also just seeing the group really kind of start to congregate with each other in person. So I think that's really awesome. I think that's a big thing. It's a big step for us as our platform, and really getting out there and being able to talk to more people in person. So I think those are good things.
Yeah, I have to say that's probably That's probably my favorite thing. I mean, it's by far my favorite thing so far this year, but just to take that a step further, I think what I really am appreciating about what the Discord community has become is that it's so much more than sneakers. We have all these people looking out for each other. I mean, there's almost every other day somebody's grabbing a pair of shoes for somebody else, it seems like. And I love that. Like, that was one of like my biggest hopes for creating this community, right? But like, the thing that I'm really excited about seeing now is like when you log on and you see, people talking about football kits, and you log on and you see like a whole conversation going on about fitteds and a whole conversation going on about cars or whatever it is, right? Like, gaming was popping for a little bit there. Like, all the different aspects of what we all kind of do and live are finally kind of growing into their own little like ways or worlds, right, within the community. Because I think part of that too, like to Mike's point about like being able to get together now, it's like now you get to take that a step further, right? You're going to have, I mean, I'm already talking about doing a cars and coffee with some of the guys in the Discord in the Bay Area. Right. And I would assume that I'm going to try to do the same thing. Like, we're hoping to be up in Portland, in a few weeks potentially. So, like that kind of stuff is just like, it's like layering on the passion for me of like all these different things that I like. And then it's introducing me to new things too, right? Like, I'm not into everything that the Discord has to offer, but I'm learning so much about all these other things, right? And even now, right, like with the meetups, you're getting to see like, people inviting people over and people going and like saying, hey, we're going to be doing this, and hey, I'm going to be out here doing this, and just like actually connecting with people. And I think it's because we just had the first meetup, down in San Jose. It's almost surreal to kind of see the potential for this, right? Because I think it's something that's completely different than what anybody else offers. And it's so much more than just like, hey, we're the big business, or we're the cool, app that people are talking about, or we're just like this massive platform, massive media company. And like, that's great. Like, those things all serve a huge purpose, right? We all consume that content. We all support those people. But at the same time, like, I'm looking for more like meaningful connections, and the Discord community around the Sneaker History Discord community has basically, become that for me. So.
Awesome. Does anybody have anything else that they want to add before we go to the next question, which is around something you guys disliked? No? Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and be the negative Nancys that I know sometimes we like to partake in, and we'll switch the order around. So negative Nancy, Nick Engvall, I'm sorry, but the alliteration has got you as the number one overall pick for this round of questioning. So what's something you did not like?
I think the biggest thing that has been frustrating, I don't care to buy every shoe the way, Robbie mentioned about like the Dunks, right? People seem to be so upset that they're like, Dunks are dead, right? Because resale is dead and all this stuff. And like, I don't think it matters if you have every shoe or a ton of shoes or just one pair of shoes that you love the shit out of, right? Like, it's all the same to me. But I think one of the most frustrating things about all of sneakers, but even like within the design stuff, is kind of just seeing the copying and pasting of everything, right? Like, I look at, the Virgil Abloh Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones, right? I have nothing against Virgil. I actually think what he does is incredible, not because of the designs that he makes, but because of how far he pushes convention and how far he takes it with average consumers. But it's also super disappointing to see someone like that go and make what looks like a knockoff Air Force One when, if we're being honest, Dapper Dan was doing that in the 90s and the 80s and 90s in New York. And if anything, I would think that you would want to kind of, connect those dots, right? As someone who has the opportunity to connect those dots. And I think that it's not just Virgil, right? It's all of the stuff that's been going on, and seeing Jordan Brand finally patent the Air Jordan 1, right? And you're going to start seeing them go after some of these customizers who like remove the swoosh and put on something new and like call it a day. And I don't have anything against the hustle, or even like, I mean, some of the stuff that came out, like the colorways were super dope and I actually like them, but I also just think that that's the easy way to do it, right? Like if you're a creative person, like if you're Virgil Abloh and you work at Louis Vuitton and at Nike, what's the easiest thing you can do? Take the Louis Vuitton brown, the monogram, throw it on an Air Force One. And that's like the frustrating part to me, where I think like with on the customizer side, those guys still are, they're doing that same kind of thing. Right. And I almost, I don't know if it's Virgil necessarily, but it's just like the nature of everything right now with the internet. It's like, everything is just like, oh, that was cool, I'm going to do it in my way, but like not do it very much differently. Right. I put quotation marks on my Air, like, so that's different. And it's not right. Like, let's like push each other to get more creative, like think further away from the monetary and like the capitalist version of what sneakers has become.
It's because shoes like that aren't for sneakerheads. Like they don't need to nod to anybody who knows the history of who's been customizing Air Force Ones. Funny you even say that, because in Seattle, I saw a girl, she must have been like 18, like 16 to 18, high schooler. And she had Louis Vuitton Air Force One customs. And they were kind of beat, but she's like having a good time rocking them. But it's like, they don't need to draw those connections the same way he can rip off like the Ava basketball shoe earlier. Like, you don't need to connect the dots because it's not for us. It's for people who like so much of sport. I mean, this is a whole other streetwear conversation, but like a lot of like all the designer streetwear stuff, like the Travis Scott, was it Travis Scott Dior stuff? Like that's not for Travis Scott fans. That's for people who are in their 40s who want to feel cool and who want to connect to their kids in high school and can afford a $4,000 jacket. Like, I'm sorry, like I could probably buy a $4,000 jacket. Would it be one of the more stupid fucking things I do? Yes. So it's like, that's not for fans of Travis Scott like myself, or somebody who owns a pair of Travis Scott ones. Like all this designer stuff, it's not for us.
And I guess it's less about like, I don't care that it's for sneakerheads or not, right? It's more like, what is that going to do for the future, right? Now you have a bunch of customizers looking at Virgil saying, all I got to do is recreate some like copy and paste, thing. And I can be a quote designer, right? And I use quotes in honor of Virgil himself. Like,
nice
designer.
Quotes.
Like that's like by far the worst thing about sneakers right now is that we're not seeing people push the envelope, right? And I would even take that a step further, I guess, and say like we're not seeing very much creativity on like the colorway side, right? There's a lot of this like, hey, this worked before, let's just do it again, right? Do we really need shattered backboard 4.0s, shattered backboard lows? Like, don't get me wrong, I think a shattered backboard low or a dunk in that colorway would be super dope. I'd love to have a pair. But I'd also rather see somebody come up with something that's more unique and say, hey, tell a different story, right? Like Michael Jordan did a billion things, drove Corvettes and Ferraris, was in commercials. Like there's so many ways you could twist colors into stories but we just keep seeing like the repetitiveness, and it's across most of the brands. It's not, it's kind of like Yeezy, right? Oh, well, I'm going to, call this a slightly, it's like, I feel like I look at the Yeezy 350 that comes out and it's like, I don't know the difference between this one, the one that you released last month, the month before, the one from 5 years ago, but you put a different V in the description, in the name, right? It's like, that just, it just doesn't seem inspired to me, I guess.
I mean, when you look at, if we're talking about, kind of give kudos to brands who are, at least taking a little bit more initiative when it comes to their collaborations, I would have to say both Adidas and Reebok are really doing a little bit more than you see some of the other brands will, because they will tell more of a story. Like, although because I'm more of a kid at heart, like the Lego stuff that Adidas did, very, a fan of that. The Power Ranger stuff, the Nerf stuff we just got, those are all things that I think they just took an extra step telling the story, not giving us just kind of a really safe colorway, but they took elements of whatever it was and put it on these particular sneakers as opposed to, let's just add Cactus Jack on the back, or let's add everything. Literally, with a collaboration now, it is let's add a stash pocket, call it collaboration. It is kind of like it's getting repetitive. We're not getting anything.
So do you think that's just because it's safe?
Heck yeah. They found out what worked. It's like it's almost like a focus group. They put all these kids or all these cool sneakerheads, whoever it was. They put them in a room, put a stash pocket, made it olive, made it sell. Everyone loved it. They're like, let's pump these suckers out as much as possible. And think about it. Everything has those elements at this point. Olive green, sell, maybe mustard yellow, brown. It's those. They use the Yeezy color palette and then added the Nike to it or the XYZ, pick a brand to it. It just, I know those things are just fads. It's like those trends will burn out. We'll have something new later. But this one just seems to be way more predominant, more in front of us than I've seen, because typically trends are really, okay, here's like a year shelf life, we're going to move on. But if I see one more dang brown shoe from Travis Scott, I don't like the Travis Scott shoes. The only one I can probably stand is going to be the Jordan 1 Low. Those are absolutely terrible shoes. I don't care who flames me in this, but Travis Scott is literally the most overrated collaboration I've ever seen in my life. And I'll leave it at that.
It's rated for sure. It goes both ways. See, I've bought in, but also I'm over it too. So it's like, okay, I didn't get only Travis Scott's I have are the 6s. Like, I didn't hit on any of the other ones. Yeah. The prices are stupid on all of them. I'm not going to pay $1,000 for any Travis Scott shoe. So in that sense, they are overrated because they don't entice me even when they're
didn't lose your mind if you didn't get them. That's the thing. Like, there are people out there selling their whole collections to get this one shoe. Like, when this fragment Travis Scott comes out, I would say the colorway I actually like it. I like the idea that they took from the unreleased Jordan 1 from back in the day. But all I did was slap Cactus Jack and the little lightning bolts on it, and this is going to be just a crap show. I don't even want to. I think I want to turn Twitter off for that weekend, or at least 7 days up to it, because it's just going to be absolute nonsense. I feel like.
So
go ahead.
No, I just want to. I'll pass it back to you, Nick. But you said shoes, really not taking risks, or being safer, really brands not doing a lot of the same stuff. The Adidas Future Natural, the next level, the sock laceless thing, I slid those on and I was like, this is the coolest feeling. This is such a great shoe. I love it. This is fantastic. And then I thought, damn, they've been doing this for 3-4 years now. But it's such a cool, good idea that's unlike everything else on the basketball shoe market. But it's like they innovated once, and it's not just Adidas. You innovate once, it's all right, sweet. We got the Air Max 90, or we got the next level. All right, let's just fucking roll this out. Next level high, next level low, next level Future Natural, next level Porzingis PEs. Next level is everything you can, and it's doesn't deteriorate from the shoe being great. It's full length boost. It feels super good, but at the end of the day, that was an idea a couple of years ago. Where's the next Future Natural?
The future.
Where's the next level? Yeah, because beat a dead horse. Early 2000s stuff always had a different feel from mid 2000s and then late 2000s. Now I kind of feel like it's all been since 2010. They're all right, we found out lightweight performance works with Zoom Air. Let's put some fly wire in there. Let's put some there's a formula, and it's man, they got to break a formula and do a whole laceless shoe or something. And I don't know. But I totally agree with Nick's earlier point about this lack of creativity.
For sure.
Overall. So I was just going to say, to kind of play a little bit of a devil's advocate, right? I'm a big Travis Scott fan. I'm not going to pay resale for. I mean, I probably wouldn't have even paid resale for the Magnus Walker Dunks had I not got them, right? Yeah. It's just not. I'm not trying to do that right now in my life. There's not shoes that are worth paying extra for, in my opinion. I got too many good shoes, and I can easily enjoy what I have. Mm-hmm. And I think the thing about him as an artist is he is very like his fans are diehard, right?
Yeah.
Like in a way that is, there's not really anybody that you can compare to right now. Like even Kanye is kind of like has lost that like diehard fan base that he once had. You know, he still has a huge fan base, right? His fan base is exponentially bigger. But like, if you would have asked all four of us if we were Kanye fans 10 years ago, it would have been yes across the board with no hesitation. If you were to ask the same question now, it's like, you know, you've got to explain, like, I like some of his music, but like, you know, the shoes, blah, 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 blah. Right. Yeah. So I kind of think of the Travis Scott thing and like, if I was, you know, or let's flip it. If as a teenager or, you know, a 20 something, Tupac had a bunch of sneaker deals, I would have rather had all of those than most of my collection, just because that's how much of a fan I am of that man. So I don't know that that's how it really is, because resale is obviously like a different beast now that we can't really even account for in a way, because like some people are just like, hey, that's a quick $1,000. Why wouldn't I take it? Right. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know I don't know that there's,
I know what you mean.
Maybe fans are that diehard for Travis Scott.
But I think it's a different era. So I know when I was in high school, when ice creams first came out, you know, been a huge fan of Pharrell, still am. And where I lived at, there was not really, there was none of those really big energy accounts where I could go find those cool things. It just so happened there was this Foot Action going out of business. I found a pair for like $20. Cool. I was like, whatever, I got $20 on me. I go like beg my mom for the other half, whatever it is. I need to get this shoe. But I think, again, it was more creative because it's something we didn't see at the time. What rappers putting out a skate shoe? And even then, I know old technology, and it wasn't really something that was just like mind blowing, but I feel like it was still a risk that was taken. And it's just literally, I feel like the most probably creative thing that Travis Scott has coming out is probably that Air Max 1. Just I never seen like the colored in air bubble. It's not a pretty shoe whatsoever, but it's probably still the most creative one I've seen. And I mean, I don't want to hit a dead horse, like, because I mean, I gotta respect the man's hustle. Like, it's nothing against him or his music. His music actually is, you know, pretty decent. I think it's just more, I get irritated more with the fans or the quasi fans out there who are just trying to get the quick flip on it, or just for the status, because, oh, I got the shoe, here it is. All right, now what do I do with this thing now? And I can't tell you what to do with your money. I can't, you know, you buy your shoe, do whatever you want. But I think it's been put in my face. Like, when things are put in my face so much, I just get so, like, I'm over it. And that's just one of those things. Like, all right, cool. I've seen it way too many times. It hasn't done anything for me. I got to move on from it.
No, Robbie, did you? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I can understand that. I also kind of think, like, you know, the more I think about, I don't know, simple colorways is also kind of what, like, to Robbie's point about loving seeing all the dunks, right? Like, you know, like the Travis Scott 4s, all the colorways that he's done, I think are great. Like, I would have rocked any of those colorways regardless of if it's Travis Scott shoe.
Yeah.
So.
No, I was just going to ask Robbie, is there anything else that you want to call out? Because I mean this in the most loving way possible. You are our premier hater. Like, you always see the negative side of things in a way that.
Hate.
Thanks. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, I'll keep mine short. It's the fact that, and it's pretty much just Jordan Brand. Like, are we not good enough for nice things? Like, there's so many cool shoes, and this is not new. There's been samples forever, but unlike back in the early or late 2000s, where I was looking at a sneaker blog retrospectively of what didn't release 10 years ago, I'm seeing what I'm not getting in real time over and over again, like publicized to me. And it's like, ooh, you like these creative idea shoes that speak to our athletes and help to get you to know them better? Can't have this. And it's like, I get you want your athletes to have great stuff. You want them to have limited things. Makes total sense. But I'm not going to use Jason Tatum's. I wouldn't buy a Jason Tatum product if I wanted to. But Luka, I know there's been one Luka release, but there's been so many better Luka PEs that he's worn on his feet.
Yeah.
I can only really think of Jason Tatum. I'm not going to lie, and Kemba Walker.
No,
only
I'll give
Celtics
you
are coming
Robbie.
to mind.
He had the Gohan colorway, if I
Zion.
remember, and that was something that the nerdy guy in me was like, "Wait, Luka likes Gohan? I'm all in on this guy." This was the final piece de resistance.
Well, he did a Gohan Hyperdunk 2016 custom a while back that he had done for him, but just like all of these cool PEs where it's just like you're having a hard time. This is me guessing that you're having a hard time selling your newer non-retro products. And it's like, what's going to get somebody to like something? Personality. The Kyrie stuff has, for as much as I really haven't loved the designs recently, they've had great personality stuff to draw people in from all ages, all walks of life into the shoe. So it's like, cool. Robbie doesn't particularly like it, but somebody who likes like the idealism of Kyrie or like the ideology or the
breakfast cereal,
SpongeBob SquarePants, or cereal. Yeah, there's just like so many angles that he's been able to succeed, and yet Jordan Brand's like, oh, I know a lot of you like pink lemonade. Jason Tatum likes pink lemonade. You don't get these pink lemonade shoes though. It's like, well, why not though? We all love that drink.
I love pink lemonade. Give me the shoe.
If you got offered pink lemonade right now, I think 4 out of 4 of us would be like, yeah, sure. I was like, yeah,
thank you.
I'll take one.
I'll take it.
But you can't get those shoes. You get a black and white. I can't even tell you the 35 release colorways off the top of my head. I already forgot them all. Like I literally could not off the top of my head pull one off. I think one was like an infrared, and that's because there's always an infrared one. So it's like cool.
Only one I remember the two really hype ones, like the Titan and the Fragments, and that's the only two I remember.
I get it. Give your athletes great stuff. That people don't deserve everything, but like throw us a bone. If you're not going to give Jason Tatum a shoe, give us something that actually makes us want to get to know him better. Because Nike, you're going to eat. People are then going to go buy jerseys, which you own the rights to. So people are going to like keep giving you more money. If you give us stuff, we give you more stuff.
Yep.
Crazy. I hate that.
And that's why we called upon you. That was us playing the flute, and like the Dragon Zord, you emerge from the water. So that was a Power Ranger reference for you, Mike. Anyway, we've got limited time, so we'll just go ahead and go to the last question, which is, what is something you guys hope for in the last quarter, or in the upcoming quarter, or the last half of the year? And this time, Mike, we'll start with you.
Yeah. Honestly, there's not really like a lot of things out there. It's like I don't think it will be changed over the next 6 months. Honestly, I hope that when it comes to releases, I'm not going to even go down that road of, I want to be everyone to get it. It's not been that. I just hope that we don't have to be I feel like we're joining factions to be able to get shoes, whether it's this place or this place or this place, or going to this website. I feel like we're having to join a faction to get shoes. And I love where we're at, where it's easy enough to just say, hey, can you guys put an entry in for me? If it wins, it wins. If not, it's cool. I don't want to have to, hey, you belong to this tribe now. That's the only way we can get shoes. So I'm hopeful, because I was seeing something on someone's YouTube today, and I cannot remember for the life of me. So I apologize. It's just been a long day. But because of, I guess, popular resale sites, StockX and GOAT, doing business in Asia now, mainly in China and Hong Kong, is that because those shoes come out earlier and I've seen like a pretty high quantity, is driving resale down a little bit. So I'm hopeful that prices just come down. It's very simple. I just don't feel like I want to do things my independent self. I don't want, have to deal with sneaker Twitter and all that. I just want to buy things when I want them at my own pace. So I'm hopeful that prices will start to level off. I'm not saying it's going to completely change and go back to what it was years ago, but things may be leveled out to be more manageable.
So, Mike, you're more Jordan than LeBron, and you don't care for the player empowerment era of the sneaker.
Nah, forget them too. No.
No, that's a really astute call out, and that's something I'm kind of jealous I didn't think of. So good job, Mike. Going forward, I may use that anecdote and attribute it to you. So, Nick, how about you?
I think I'd like to see a little bit more like transparency in the sense of like the people that get to work on some of the products, the people that get to work with the brands. I mean, it seems like because of the pandemic, like things reeled in, so you're not getting to see like people go and, be a part of events and stuff. I mean, I know that just kind of started. I've seen a couple of things going on in New York and LA recently where I was like, wow, they're actually going back to, full on with this. But I think those people behind the scenes deserve more credit. There's, to Robbie's point about colorways and stuff like that, when the successful ones hit, we don't know the person that actually said, hey, let's do this colorway, and this colorway is just crushes it. Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do, like, sometimes you can follow somebody on Instagram and whatnot, and they talk themselves up, or they talk about what they're doing. But, these people put in a lot of work to make this stuff happen for the brands. And I just would love to see the brands elevate the individuals a little bit more. Right. Because specifically, I look at like Nike and the sneakers app and see all these people in there, and, I know a lot of them. I don't know all of them, but like, there's definitely just as many people that work for Nike that deserve the kudos that some random person in some city across the US is getting because they post Nikes all day on their Instagram account. And it's not that those people don't deserve recognition either, but it's just like, like it's almost like, you're talking about like you built this, you built this massive cruise ship, and like all you're doing is giving credit to the people that pay to ride the cruise ship, as opposed to like, there's thousands of people that make this thing move and make it cool and make it an enjoyable experience for those other people. And I know that's a tough thing for brands to have, I guess, confidence in their employees or whatever. I mean, I don't personally understand it, but I understand it as a business, like being afraid to ever put anyone as the face of a company for any amount of time. But when you're doing it for, like there's literally people that will be put on, and I'm just using sneakers because it's the biggest, easiest to pick on, right? But like, There's literally people in sneakers that if you go to their account the day that they're posted, they've posted another brand's shoe. And you would never get that from a Nike employee. So why not elevate a Nike employee at least once in a while? Like there's just a lot of people that deserve a lot of credit for the work that goes on there. So that's why I hope.
I will use this say I saw something on sneakers, I think Asian Voices conversation between Leo Cheng and Benjamin Hitankome. One of the coolest moments was Leo bringing up the fact that two of the employees within the Nike basketball team had made a colorway, I think, for the eyeball development shoe. And they were bold enough to put their names on the respective tongues of each shoe. And nice. All disclosure, I'm good friends with one of the people that did that. So it was really refreshing to not only see her shoe in a retail space with her name on it, but then also, to your point, Nick, getting that shout out in that forum or that medium is amazing, because now there's some random dude in Hoboken, bum F, Michigan that knows, oh, that's the Risa shoe or that's the Althea shoe. So I agree with you. And then last but not least, the man of the hour, Robbie, what are your hopes and dreams for the upcoming quarter and half year?
I hope to find $1 million. First and foremost, above all, I want to find $1 million. Speak it into existence. Mine's going to be short and easy. I want to keep ingesting and enjoying good, thoughtful, and different sneaker content. I say that because amongst us, I make it pretty well known. I don't watch I don't listen to anybody else's podcasts. I'm sorry if you listen to ours and you have a sneaker podcast. I love you and thank you for being here. But like, I get so burnt out on shoes so easily now. I do not want to hear anybody else's opinion other than your three and occasionally somebody else. And the past 2 weeks, I say like week and a half, I've been watching Jacques Slade's Hard Pass and just like cracking up and enjoying it and having fun with it. And I'm like, damn, like this is like the kind of stuff I want to be watching. Mm-hmm. And it makes me happy because it's like for sneakerheads, made by a real sneakerhead, but with like the production value and time none of us are capable of. So it's like when I close my eyes and like I fantasize, it's like Olivia Wilde and Jacques Slade, and it's like Jacques I'm like making great work with him, and I have Olivia Wilde in my life. It's great. Life's different. But just like I'm enjoying that kind of like different content where it's like it's pop culture. It feels like MTV if it had like shoe stuff, but it's mostly shoes with a side of pop culture. And it's just like I'm really enjoying that instead of like the stereotypes. I mean, no offense to anybody at Complex, but just like all those shows are so just like boring to me now. It's like, oh, it's all formulaic, and Jacques formulaic too, but it's a fun formula and it's different funny, and it looks different every time. So it's like, do I want to watch somebody else shop for the millionth time? I sneaker shop. Fuck, where's my show? Like, I don't need to watch anybody else. I have my own problems. I look at my own bills. Like,
can we do realistic sneaker shopping, Nick, or you just take us to different consignment stores?
And we're all just like, no, I can afford that today.
Shopping
I can afford that right now.
Is me pushing pay on like a $500 pair of shoes and being like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like still completing the purchase. Like that's it. There's no glamour.
Yep.
So I'm enjoying fun sneaker content. Plug the hard pass.
Shout out to Jacques won't mind, but obviously, Jacques one of my great friends, but shout out to Juan Martinez, Easyville on all the social platforms. He's been helping Jacques write for Hard Pass for quite a while now, and he is easily one of the funniest people.
So good.
Yeah, he's so good. He's even funnier in person. So if you ever get the chance to go to a sneaker event or something and meet Juan, he's a really good dude. So
awesome. If there isn't anything else, we will let you. In this case, you guys being the three of you, let us know where we can find you guys. So, Robbie, where can people find you on the social medias?
You can find me at RAHBEE702. There's a lot of other people putting good content out too. I've literally watched every episode Jacques put out the past week and a half, and I don't do that with any sneaker shows, period. So it's been fun.
Excellent. Mike, how about you?
Nice. Yeah, of course, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MadWatcher789 and on YouTube at Mike Gillory.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can find me at Nick Engvall on all the platforms. More importantly, if you're listening to this, just give us a subscription. Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel so we can get to that 1,000 mark. I'm just trying to beat Mike because he's getting pretty close to 1,000 too on his channel. So
Mike has Zords on his side. We don't have that.
Yeah, I have to bring up the big guns. I brought my son into the last video. I'm like, look, bring a cute kid in, and I just let him have the channel because they don't see my ugly mug anymore.
Yeah, see, that's not even playing fair. That's why I got to be begging for subscribers over here.
You can bring Mika up there. Like, hey, come on, guys.
Awesome. And you can find me on Twitter at Roheezy, on Instagram at RohitM13. Thank you guys so much for these episodes. They feel very therapeutic. And let us know if you have any suggestions for the next time we do this, which will probably be in early September. So,
yeah.
Peace out. Peace.
See you.